I'm Wade here. Welcome to Wade 2025. Leave your comments on Cwu-TV or on YouTube and Cwu-TV Network on Facebook. All right, folks, we're back. And now here's a couple things. Again, the question was on the floor was, why me? Who do I think I am? Talking all these things, saying all these things about the city, yada, yada, yada. You think you want to run for mayor? Who would vote for you being mayor, yada, yada, yada. Well, again, let me give you a little bit more background. I didn't just fall out of the sky. I spent 15 years in the Nation of Islam. I've learned how to listen to the voices of Black Command. I learned how to yield, bow down, and walk my post in a perfect manner, not look to the left or to the right under the instructions of other men leadership. So I'm not averse to sitting down under someone so we can have a better society. But again, what I've sat back and watched, and with my training, with my experience, 67 years now, I've learned that we're going off the rails. And I pointed out to you that in 1968, when Jesse took the leadership position of the head Negro in charge of all Negroes upon the death of Dr. King, Jesse, his leadership seems to have removed the spiritual underpinnings that was making the civil rights movement work, and it was making it basically bulletproof in many cases. But once you remove that spiritual underpinnings, we started going haywire. Look at our community now. Our kids are running amok. There's murder and mayhem on the streets of every major city that blacks are in charge of. And that's unacceptable to me. And so when people say, Kim, you done forgot where you came from, that's the reason why, because I didn't come from that. And y'all seem to think that this is going to be the new normal. No, it ain't. All it takes is one individual. As I've told you down through the years, those of you who have listened to my radio program, all the major events throughout human history have turned on the actions of one individual who said enough of this bozo crap. So a lot of folks who ask the question, who do I think I am? I'm a child of God. So we're going to make those changes. You know why? Because at the end of the day, changes have been assigned to this era in Jackson's history. And Jackson is to be the example for the nation on how things can get done. We have widespread poverty, neglect, and failure in the areas where blacks are in charge. This is not by accident. It is because there seems to be a group of individuals who have cut deals supposedly on behalf of the black and poor communities of this nation that obviously is not in our best interest. And I'm sitting back saying, wait a minute. Yo, I have a question, Mr. Thompson. I have a question, Derek Johnson. I have a question, Al Sharpton. I have a question, Barack. How come I ain't eating, bro? I mean, my bambinos, they need some beanie weenies and some cornflakes, bro. And then you telling me I need to be upset about racism. But racism isn't stopping your flow. So that's where I come in, Radio Strongman. We're going to break a lot of things up at the door. People done got comfortable with taking advantage of people who trust them implicitly. So we're going to turn some caps around. As I've said before, and I'll say again, I don't mean maybe, I don't mean perhaps. I'm talking about sure enough. There's going to be some caps turned around. And I'm going to invite you to join, not because you support the ideals of a conservative, you support the ideals of things that work. You doubt what I'm saying to be the case? Right here in the city of Jackson, we had a mayor, Mayor Harvey Johnson Jr., who, by the way, his first 2 terms, he was doing a good job as far as I'm concerned. I mean, he was doing a lot of city services delivery that were, on point. But after he got outed by Frank, he came back with a chip on his shoulders, in my view. But now, all those years, he was talking all that dope boy magic. Now, what I understood was that when he first ran for mayor, that he did sit down with the late Maynard Jackson, and Maynard gave him some tips on how to, and he seemed to have governed under those principles. And I think the city of Jackson was stable at that point. But after he got back in there with Frank, and he entered in there with what appeared to me to be a band of hoodlums on his coattails, then again, Jackson just started going down for the worse, in my opinion. And now, the mayor who was telling us about all the black crap and, set aside and all that kind of stuff was the answer and solution and yada, 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 rather than pursuing those policies that are good for kids and good for the rooftops. he went in a different direction. And now we're financially strapped. We're unable to deliver city services in a manner that people appreciate given the amount of money that they're paying for these city services. And then he moves to the area. From what I understand, Madison County, under Mary Hawkins, rather. Bro, why didn't you just do that from the beginning? And see, this is what we're going to be talking about on Wade 2025 on Cwu-Tv. And that is, guys, why can't we just do what works? Why can't we have the, a matter of fact, I was driving through Flowood last night. The place was packed. I mean, every venue, every shopping center, every store, parking lot's just on swole. We could do that here in Jackson. You know why we can't do it? Because there has been an industry created within the civil rights movement that they're only going to do things a certain way, and that's with the angry Negro motif. Everybody walking around with a chip on their shoulders, with a rapper scowl on their face, acting like they don't want to talk with anyone, and they telling you to be mad at white folks, be mad at rich folks, be mad at productive folks, while they themselves behind the scenes are cutting deals, not for you, but for their own behalf. As I've told you before, I don't have any problem with anybody getting their grind on. You got to take care of yourself, you got to take care of your family. That was one of the things that Charles Evers would always do, and he'd always say. He'd tell you right up front, I'm looking out for me and mine, and then I want y'all to look out for my people. He'd tell you up on the front end, what's in it for me. So I don't have any problems with that. But what we have are a group of people who aren't doing their job. Certainly not at the level that everybody else is getting some benefit from it. And then they want to tell us that, oh, well, you ain't really black. Well, Hoss, I don't need to be really black. I don't need to be really black. You need to be on your job. Now, I can get ethnic now. Oh, yeah. Oh, I can get ethnic. I can act the fool. But what we want is for you to be the man and woman that you said you were when you told everybody you're ready for prime time with all your acronyms in front of your name and in back of your name that you got this degree, you got that degree, and that you could do this, I could do the job. Well, there's too much poverty flowing and it's spreading like kudzu. And somebody has to say, wait a minute, we need an after-action report. We need to find out what's going on and what's not working and what's working. Now, if you're down with that, that's what Wade 2025 and the TV show, which is coming in February, I think you'll really, really enjoy. We'll be talking about topics like this. We're going to be hashing up. It's not just going to be me. We'll invite guests in, and if guests want to come on, contact us here at Cwu-Tv. Leave your comments. Now, that's on YouTube, Cwu-Tv on YouTube, and Cwu-Tv Network on Facebook. Oh, we're going to get this job done. What has happened is nobody has stepped up and said the things that you're going to be hearing me saying on Cwu-Tv, but that I've been saying on the radio for 30 years. The same message I had when I started out at WNPR 30 years ago, and my audience was mainly blacks, is the same message I'm giving over here. So you young Turks who listen in and say, oh, he's just saying that for white folks, bro, you don't know me. Because my message hasn't changed. It don't need to change. This is the message that brought us over. But no, you guys want to defer from that because you got to hustle selling us out. You got to hustle taking that walk around money. You got to hustle doing the set-aside program. Oh, we're going to talk about the set-aside program. If I were to run for mayor and win, guess what we're going to do with the set-aside program? Oh, it's going to be different, but it's going to benefit everybody. Remember what I said during the opening, that everybody's got to eat? You see that African man crawling on the ground while that guy done took his sack of food? Because he's healthier, stronger, and can just walk off from the man. Ain't even got to run. We breaking all that up at the door. Now, if you ain't willing to share, well, bro, you're going to be willing to shed some tears. Because I promise you, if the Lord give me strength, we're going to break it up at the door. And don't get me wrong. I ain't on no crusade. I'm going to save the poor. What we're going to do is open up the door of opportunity and let those who are will, ready, and able to take advantage of it eat. Now, if you're too lazy to get up and scramble for yourself, like Dr. King said, brother, you got some difficult days ahead. I don't know what's going to happen next for you. Anyway, we're going to take a break. We'll be right back. Number one, I am a rock rib conservative, unabashedly so. Many of you listen to the program know that. And when I talk about conservatism, do for self is as conservative as it comes. I'm a capitalist. I believe in the free enterprise system. I believe that people need to get paid. They call me Get Paid Wade. I want everybody to eat. Everybody's got to eat. Now here's the deal. I invite your participation going forward. I want you to continue to watch Cwu-Tv and listen to the Kim Wade Show at WYAB 103.9 FM, WYAB.com, Monday through Fridays from 4 to 6. Continue to listen in, add your input, and see if we can be the example for all of America to point to and say, they're doing it right down in Jackson, Mississippi. Now there's a message in there for a believer.